as average Joes, you and I, it's not as easy to have complete control over your day as it is for other people. However, planning and prepping truly, truly helps, okay? Hello and welcome back to Traffic Talks. I hope you're doing well. I have been trying to keep these episodes short and I've mostly succeeded. I think today's episode might get a little long, so I'm going to try and jump in immediately. But yeah, that's just a word of warning. We'll see how this goes. Hopefully it's not too long. So let's get started. So over the last few weeks, we've written down our positives and negatives. We've written down our future life vision. We've done our optional 12 areas of life assessment. And we've even taken all of those things into consideration and made our plans for the year. We've broken down those goals into achievable steps. We understand the 12-week method and we are making progress. We also made some habits, or rather a list of habits we want to do and routines we want to have, which was what we did last week. So pull out your homework and let's get to it. By the way, if you haven't already listened to those episodes, I will have them linked down below in the description. So get your homework and let's get going. So habits, routines, and systems tend to sound like the same thing. And this week, or in today's episode, we are going to be analyzing them if we have them, recognizing them if we are unaware of them, and putting them into place if we haven't already. So before we go too deep, let's just first understand what their functions are, because that is key, okay? Understanding things first. So as I said, habits, routines, and systems may seem like the same thing or even seem like similar things, same, but they aren't. Each thing has a purpose. So all of them are used for structure and consistency, but they are different and therefore they function in different ways. Habits are behaviors that you repeat regularly and tend to basically happen in a subconscious, almost automatic way. This is because you repeat an action so many times, it becomes ingrained. If you want to get fancy, a habit is formed as a result of repetition and reinforcement, and they can be negative or positive. So, your habit of brushing your teeth in the morning, good, positive habit. It's been reinforced because you do it every single day. The habit of doom scrolling, on the other hand, negative habit, but you do it every evening and therefore you reinforce the habit. That is just habits. You know what they are. A routine is basically a sequence of habits you do, and you generally do them in a specific order. Grouping your habits becomes a routine. This is usually like those trending routines you see, like my 5 a.m. club morning routine, my evening routine, my makeup routine. Like those are routines that have a specific order and are done at a specific time. So that's just a thing. Fun fact, just by the way. Some routines actually change according to season. So you'll have your winter morning routine and you'll have your summer morning routine, things like that. And also they vary person to person, which I always say, to each their own. And this is because everyone has different needs, different responsibilities, different times available to them to do these routines and habits. So everyone is different. Habits are basically the individual habit you have. Routines are groups of habits. Systems, on the other hand, are a set of interconnected procedures that work together to achieve a particular goal. Basically, they are a comprehensive and organized list of tasks or activities or basically to-do list items that you need to go through in order to achieve a goal. This could be people who are familiar with project management systems. You have an outline, you have different assignments of tasks for different people and roles, and there's usually time allocations for these things. For me, something like this would be the system I do around my podcast. So some people call it a process, some people call it a system, whatever word you want to use. Is basically just your system. So for me, it's planning my topic, researching the episode, filling out my template for the episode, recording the episode, going through my editing process, because that in itself is a process, Those are all the things that are systems that help you achieve the goal. The goal is to get the episode out. The system is the process you follow to get that episode out. It's all the things you do. Systems are more external. Habits and routines are more personal and more internal for you. But for now, put the systems in the back of your mind. That's next week's worries. For now, we're focusing on habits and routines. So, habits and routines are for you to make you a better person. And yes, they can sometimes be a system, which I know is a bit weird, but trust me, just keep sticking with the process. We'll get there. It'll make sense at the end. Just bear with me. As average Joes, you and I, it's not as easy to have complete control over your day as it is for other people. However, planning and prepping truly helps, okay? So that is the thing. Plan and prep is key. So pull out your habit list from last week and get ready to be shocked at how much time you've wasted. Because seriously, you'll be so surprised. So get out your habit list and get out a whole lot of paper, because we're gonna need 7 sheets or 7 columns if you're doing it digitally and you have something in front of you. Better yet, take your Google Calendar, make a brand new one and put it in a weekly view, and there you go, template made. So if you're doing pen and paper, each of the 7 days of the week gets written at the top, and time allocations if you want to get fancy with it. And what you're going to do is simply add your habits that you are currently doing and that you want to do in the order you do them to your weekly spread. So when you wake up in the morning, you get up at the time you want to wake up. So if you want to start waking up at 7 a.m., you write down 7 a.m, wake up, brush teeth, wash face, do skincare, everything, Write it all down, even the ones that are automatic that you actually have to think about now that you aren't automatically doing it. Write those down, and especially in the order that you do them. This is going to be key, trust me. Write down everything, and I'll give you a minute before we move on to the next point. So, now that you've written them down, go back and check on your list of things you wanted to include, if you haven't already, the habits that you aspire to have or do. For example, if you want to get more fit, you said you want to exercise 3 to 5 times a week. Write down in your calendar spread where logistically there seems to be enough time for you to physically get in a workout. If it's Saturday and Sunday, great. That's 2 out of your 3 to 5 days. Then you're like, okay, cool. Maybe a Thursday, maybe a Tuesday. That doesn't mess up my Friday. That doesn't mess up my Monday. I got a Wednesday as an optional day. That's at least guaranteed 4 times a week. Fill that in. Do that. Also, things you planned on working on, see where you can block out time to tackle those things. Writing a book. Cut out an hour out of your evening for that. Make sure all the habits you currently do and all the ones you want to do, especially if it's a time block of a goal you want to tackle, fill that in. Okay? Write it down. Once you've got everything written down, the next step or point, whichever you want to call it, is to group them into routines. You understood like the flow. Habits are individual, routines are clusters of groups of habits. Make a block around the different routines. You can even name them if you want. So if your wake up time is 7 and then you've got all your brush teeth, wash face, all those stuff until before you leave the house, that is your morning routine. That is something you do even on the weekends. Make a thick block around there and write morning routine. Done and dusted. If you have your set thing of go to the gym at this time, gym for this time, come back home because you work from home, or shower and then head back to the office, that block of 4 tasks now becomes gym routine. Block as many of those things as you can and write down what the routine name is. This is just to make it easier for you going forward. It's gonna help. Just trust the process. Me, I absolutely adore doing this because I work on the podcast for an hour Monday to Friday, and I literally call it my podcast power hour, where for an hour each day and sometimes 2 hours on the weekend, I work on the podcast. There's more of a system when it comes to working on the podcast, but the habit and routine of sitting down for an hour, Monday to Friday, 8 till 9 p.m., that is set in stone. What I do depends on where I am in my system or process of the episode. But when 8 o'clock hits, you best believe I'm sitting at my desk. I'm recording an episode like I'm doing now. Or I'm editing the episode that needs to go up. Or I'm working on a script for an episode that still needs to come. Whatever it is, 8 till 9, I'm working on it. Weekends are different. That's kind of a free-for-all depending on what goes on. But for that hour, Monday to Friday, I am working on my podcast. Blocked off, done and dusted. So, write those down, block them out, and name the routine. I'll see you in a sec. So, now that you've gotten your habits down, your routines outlined, ask yourself the next couple of questions. Are there ways you can improve the flow of your habits to form better routines? So, if what you do in the morning is brush teeth, wash your face, do all your things, and then pick an outfit, that takes 20 minutes. Is there a way you can streamline that process and prepare your outfit from morning routine, which takes 20 minutes, and spend 30 minutes doing that in the evening, where you're not stressed, where you're not frantic, just to make your morning routine better? Is that an option? Do your routines need a complete overhaul if you've never had routines before? Do you need to start from the bottom and figure out your habits first? Where are you going with this? And the thing is, trial and error your way through it. It's not going to be perfect, and also your life is changing as you live it. The routine you had as a teen in primary school is different from the one you had in high school. It's different from the one you have at university. Life changes and you change with life. Not everything is going to stay the same. Yes, there are some things that have always just worked, like maybe getting up at 6 a.m. No matter what you do, 6 a.m. has always just been the perfect time for you to wake up. Cool, that's fine. Your morning routine afterwards may change. You may start off with morning smoothies, and that might change and you'll be like, you know what, I want more protein and food. So you started making breakfasts. Maybe you're just like, I'm doing intermittent fasting. Now you don't eat breakfast. It changes. Trial and error your way through it and see what works best for you in your own time. And the best pro tip I can give you is check how long it actually takes you to do certain items and adjust from there. Because like I said with the outfit thing, that might have taken you 20 minutes in the morning to just pick an outfit and another 10 to get dressed because you put it on, you don't like it, you have to find something else and swap out. No. What could have taken you 30 minutes in the morning now takes you 20 minutes in the evening, and your morning 20 minutes that would have used up that full time now takes 5 minutes because the outfit's already ready. You just need to literally put it on. Find out how long things take and make changes as you go. Sometimes it's just not feasible to do certain things, and that's absolutely fine. That just means something's gotta give, and it shouldn't be your sanity ever. So work it out, see what happens, and adjust from there. You never know how certain things will affect you until you've tried it. So try it, see what works, and leave what doesn't, because it's your life. That's it. Done and dusted. It's yours. You decide what you're gonna do. So I've gone on a bit long and I've gotten very passionate about it. So I'm done. I've said all I needed to say, and I'm gonna leave you with this: to each their own. And I'm saying this to you. Your life, your choice. You do you. I personally don't subscribe to the 5 a.m. club, and I have found getting up earlier is doing me wonders. But I don't want to get up at 5 a.m. because 5 a.m. doesn't work for me. I don't like being told what to do. I will try something if it's valid, and I will see if it works. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I've done waking up at 5 a.m. It doesn't work for me. I hated it. I have truly despised it, and I was actually waking up at 4:30 at one point. So I've tried 4:30, I've tried 5, I've even tried 5:30, I've tried 6. At certain points in my life, I was up at 5 a.m. every single day, and I hated it. So No, I still hate it to this day. 6:30, much better for me. It's not 5, but it is 6. So, to each their own. Trying something new is fine. I mean, especially for me, trying a new workout is always interesting. But you don't know unless you try. When I was younger, I used to hate yoga. I was like, who wants to be a human pretzel? And now I'm just like, do it. I highly advocate for people to try yoga, just like I advocate for therapy. Everyone should be in therapy. Try it. Can't hurt to try something. Unless it's extremely bad for you, just don't. But on the other hand, if it can only do good, do it. Meditate. Try that. That is a challenge and a half. Anyway, I'm done rambling. This episode is long, and I'm gonna finish right now with this week's song of the week, which is Go the Distance by Michael Bolton. I'm not gonna start speaking about how much I love Michael Bolton. He is incredible. But the song is even better because it's about perseverance. I mean, especially if there's a mountain in front of you, especially January can seem that way when you set lofty goals. It can seem impossible, but no. We break those down into smaller achievable rocks and we just jump over them, we tackle them, and we slay. So, go the distance because I know you can. And always, no matter how far you go, keep being a better being. I'll see you in next week's episode. Love you. Bye.